following video is a presentational overview of the Vectrex Home Arcade console. Unfortunately, this video was shot in part many years ago, but was never finished until now. For that reason, I encourage you to bear with it and look beyond the obvious transition in time. Please enjoy the video.
Hey, what's up everybody, Nintendo Hound here, and today I'm going to take a look at the Vectrex Home Arcade console. The Vectrex was made in 1982 by GCE. It sold for about $200 back in the day, and unfortunately it didn't do all that well, mostly due to the video game crash of 1983. Now if you don't know what that is, I'm going to be making a video on it shortly, so stay tuned for that. This system is also very simple to set up, basically because it's its own TV. All you do is plug it in and you're ready to go. Now I won't quite call this system portable as it is rather big and clunky like a TV, but it is in a way more portable than most video game systems out there today. Now what's nice about this console is that its controller fits right into the actual casing of the system for neat storage. As you can see, the controller is modeled to fit the arcade style controls in that you would place this controller on a flat surface as indicated by the rubber nubs on the bottom, and place one hand over the joystick and the other hand placed over the large arcade style buttons, placing one finger on each button. Although I usually hold it like a controller because it's easier for me, I have somewhat large hands, so it's easy enough for me to reach the buttons. Plus it seems kinda awkward for me to play like this with such a small joystick. If it was more like an arcade pad joystick, I would probably have an easier time playing arcade style. Since the console's graphics are vector-based instead of pixel-based, which basically just means that the pictures are made up of lines instead of dots, the picture is just white lines on a black background, so each game comes with an overlay that you put over the screen to give it color. It also tells you what each button does what. The game cartridges plug right into the side of the console. Since the Vectrex didn't do all that well on the market, it had a smaller library of games consisting about 28 games. Luckily, there are a ton of homebrew games that are still being made today, which significantly increase the size of the Vectrex library. 2 accessories were made for the Vectrex, and neither had very many supported games. The Light Pen was an accessory that allowed one to draw images using a pen-to-screen interface. The Light Pen supported about 3 games, including Animaction, Art Master, and Melody Master. The other accessory is the 3D Imager, which was basically like any other 3D games accessory, a pair of clunky glasses that didn't work too well. The games that it worked with were 3D Crazy Coaster, 3D Mindstorm, and 3D Narrow Escape. Unfortunately, I don't have any of those accessories or games to go with them since they are kinda rare. Now let's get to some gameplay footage.
I'd just like to start off by saying that the only way to capture gameplay footage on a Vectrex is to hold a camera right up to the screen. That being said, you'll have to trust me when I say the camera doesn't really do the graphics justice. The vectors on here are actually really crisp and really clean. It's something you'd have to witness in person and get the full effect for. Now, to give you an idea how the overlays affect gameplay, here's the game Clean Sweep with the overlay off and now on. Big difference, right? But in reality, a lot of people were turned off by the Vectrex's lack of color. If they were to make a colored Vectrex, the production cost would be far too expensive, so they compromised and made overlays. Getting back to the actual gameplay, this is Mindstorm, which comes built into the Vectrex system. Unfortunately, I don't have the overlay for this game, but it's not a huge deal since it only really changes the screen's color to blue. Aside from changing the game's color, overlays are actually somewhat useful. On the bottom of each overlay is a simple diagram illustrating the button mapping for each game. The controls are pretty simple. Button 4 shoots, button 3 moves your ship, and button 2 is hyperspace or teleporting. Mindstorm bears much resemblance to the popular arcade game Asteroids. You get 5 lives to maneuver your ship around the screen while simultaneously avoiding mines and shooting at them. There are 4 types of mines. The first type, called floating mines, drift around aimlessly and explode in one hit. The second type are fireball mines, which hurl a fireball at you upon their destruction. The third type are the magnetic mines, which follow you around, and the fourth are a combination of magnetic and fireball mines. In the very original version of the game, there exists a bug that causes players who manage to reach level 13 to glitch and crash the game. Milton Bradley, who bought out GCE, knew about the bug and had made cartridges with a patch on them. They sent the cartridge to anyone who called or wrote a complaint about the bug. Due to the difficulty of even reaching the 13th field, most people never even knew about it, and if they did, even less called to complain. For those reasons, Mindstorm 2, as it says on the title screen, is the rarest game for Vectrex and is valued at $500. So all in all, despite its short-lived time in the limelight, the Vectrex still holds up today as one of my top 3 favorite gaming systems. It's so different from everything else out there, and it's a real shame it had to succumb to the crash of '83. At one point, after the video game market started to reignite, there was actually talk of creating a Vectrex handheld. Unfortunately, the idea got tossed shortly after because of Nintendo's plans to release the Game Boy. Damn it, Nintendo, why do you have to be so intimidating? But in all seriousness, I want to make this video to hopefully educate more people about the steaming heap of awesomeness that is the Vectrex. I hope you learned something, and feel free to comment, like, or dislike depending on how you felt about the video. Also, I probably won't be creating any more videos on this channel, unless of course any of you want me to make a specific video like the Crash of '83, or any other Vectrex game reviews, etc. Anyway, I hope you all have a great day, and I may or may not see you next time. Bye bye.